Oh, this is so much fun, seriously. One more. Oh my god, what a childish start, but it was fun. It was fun doing that. Let's get this count. Hang on, let's... Alright, yeah, alright. There we go, yeah, happy with that. God, I'm out of breath after that. I'm so unfit, it's incredible. But a lot fitter than I was a few months ago. It's, you know, my body is a temple, or will be a temple. So we went shopping. I thought I'd do another shopping vid. Why not? Oh my god. Winco Foods, of course. And we went to Safeway as well. I just got a couple of bits, and I'll show you those. Just literally a couple of bits. Yeah, so that's that. Now the slide-in, in case you're wondering, was a tribute to Sean Sidious, who's he's not passed away, he's not dead, but he has deleted his channel, which is a terrible shame. But Sean, if you're watching this, I'm not surprised, and I don't think anybody is, because Sean is the master of creating a channel and deleting it, and it's such a shame because he's such a nice guy. I'm sure you're aware of Sean Sidious, or what was he before that? Was it Sean Sidious, just literally Sean Sidious, and then it was Sean with the ones being like a, or the eyes being a one, because he went to recreate his old channel, but he couldn't, because obviously he deleted it. The one before that I think was Wardimus83, and he's had hundreds of channels. And I just think Sean got a little bit disillusioned, to say the least. Alright, Max. What are you meowing for? Hang on a minute. Maxwell. Hang on, let me just feed him a little bit. Want some food? Yeah, I want some cookies. Alright. Yeah, I think Sean got a little bit disillusioned with his channel. And basically, here I am. Yeah, basically just knocked it on the head, again. If you hear like loud crunching, it's him, not me. Look at him, eating his cookies. Anyway, so yeah, and it's a shame, isn't it, when people delete the channels, especially when you get to know them and all the rest of it. I mean, I still speak to Sean, or I've still got the ability to speak to him on Xbox Live, PlayStation Network. In fact, yesterday, when I found out his channel had gone, and I only found out because I thought, I haven't seen a video from Sean for a while, actually. Clicked on his channel, and I was greeted with that oh so familiar greeting of this channel is now closed, or whatever the wording is. And I went straight onto Xbox Live, put the mic on, and sent him a message, and I think it went along the lines of, Sean, you knobhead, I can't believe you've done that again. But we're going to have to pitch up on Call of Duty Black Ops 2, because we keep saying we're going to do it, and we never do. We have played before on Modern Warfare 3 when that first came out, but it was just a few games. And I think because of the time difference with me as well, I know it's just an excuse. I guess if you really wanted to do it, you could, you know. But the time difference doesn't help. You know, it's an 8-hour difference between California and the UK. So, you know, sometimes like when you guys, let's say, are coming in from work, then I'm maybe just starting work. And then when I'm coming home from work, you're probably in bed. So it's very difficult sometimes to, you know, find the right time to go online. But I think Sean, this video isn't about Sean, it's a shopping vid, obviously, but I just want to say that I think Sean may be, and this is best to come from the horse's mouth, because I don't know. Horse's mouth, topical, horse burgers. What's going on there? I do think, and I can say this because I consider Sean a friend, I think his goals were too high. I think some people, and maybe not, Sean was in this bracket of people. I think some people come onto YouTube and they expect to get thousands of subs straight away. And it just doesn't work like that, you know. And then once they realise it doesn't happen, they get really disillusioned. Maybe some of this resonates with you, I don't know. But for me, you know, subs has never bothered me. I'm not having a go at anybody who says things like, you know, rate, comment and subscribe. I understand why it happens. It's a good idea because it gets your name kind of circulating within the community. But I have never done that. I've never ever, not that I'm saying I'm like holier than thou and all the rest of it. It's just I choose not to do it. Because I just don't see the point. Look at him. He's loving it. He wants outside. 1 second. Maxwell. Well then, so you're outside. Here you go. Go back. Go back. Oh, bloody hell. I tell you what, he runs the bloody joint round here, Maxwell. 15 years of age. I tell you what, I felt sorry for him last week because, or the week before, he had a bladder infection. and he had to go to the vet, and we were thinking, well, he's 15. I mean, he's sprightly, and he's an indoor cat, so they live a lot longer. But we thought, oh, I tell you what, 15, is this the end of the road for him? But no, just a bladder infection, and the vet said he's just in amazing shape. You know, like several years younger, basically. That's how he looks, acts, his body. He's going to be around for a long time yet. Wait and see, I'll get run over in a minute. I shouldn't say that. He'll be all right. He'll be all right. But yeah, we had to give him this like medication for like a week. It's like a fluid that I had to take, and he hated it. And his appetite completely went, but now he's fine. Absolutely fine. Good news for Max the cat and for cat lovers out there. So that's that. What was I talking about? Yeah, actually, let's start doing some of this bloody shopping. First of all, I've got some of this Tetley's British tea. Brilliant. And that's what I got from Safeway, and this as well. Now, I have had a couple, admittedly. Despite being on a health kick, I think occasionally, moderation, it's nice to have a bit of a treat. And like I say, from Safeway, fudge mint, just cookies, I guess. Yeah, fudge-covered mint cookies. They're pretty nice. Although not as nice as I thought they would be, I've got to be honest. Lots of milk, better put this away. And it's pretty big. But, you know, it's not as if I'm going to go through it in the space of a day. So that's fine. But yeah, I think a lot of people, they expect too much from their channel too soon. YouTube isn't what it used to be in many ways. I mean, I've got just over 1,000 subs, and it's going to be very hard not to talk about it. It's like I've got to hold it up, and in the middle of a sentence I'll be like, yeah, I've just got 1,000 subs. Honey Oat Crunchies, or whatever they're called. Honey Bunch of Oats. It's very hard not to hold it up and to say what it is, like you care. But yeah, I've got just over 1,000 subs, and you know, it's taken me 3.5 years to get that. But here's the deal, right? And I'm being genuine and completely sincere. I can honestly swear to you, you know, talking amongst friends here, I can honestly swear to you that I don't care how many subs I've got. I have never given a rat's ass about subs. Never bothered me, never asked for them, never asked for shout-outs or anything like that. I understand why people do ask for shout-outs. I can see why it's helpful. I'm not having a go. I'm just saying I've never done it. And I don't know what this obsession is with people wanting to be a success. You know, ranch dip. And some heavy-duty scrub sponges for the wife. Nice little treat for her. Sexist. The irony is I'll probably end up doing it, so that was sexist as well, really, wasn't it? Anyway, derogatory. Anyway, so chewy dips. These, again, technically for the wife to take to work for like lunch, but I end up eating these because they're so bloody nice. And come on, she's got 3 of them. She's really thin. If you think, I mean, she's like a size 6. I might have that wrong. She's really thin and I'm really fat. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, that's that. That's probably why I'm fat, because she's buying these and I'm bloody eating them. I'll tell you what, I feel embarrassed saying this, but I'm going to say it on camera. I went on the scales the other day, right? Hang on, let me get some of these as well. Tissues. Let me get another bag and I'll tell you how much I weigh. I was shocked. I really was. So I went on the scales and I thought, I wonder how much do you think I weigh? Right, here we go, look at this. I am holding my stomach in a little bit, I've got to be honest, because I'm embarrassed. I'm not really, there you go. Right, little bit of a blob, I admit that. 198 pounds. 198 pounds. I couldn't believe it, I was so shocked. Now, I don't want to paint the impression that I'm a fat blob. If you are, nothing wrong with that, although maybe you should think about getting a little bit lighter. This video, so I keep digging. How am I going to get out of this? But food tastes so nice, doesn't it? What can we do about it? Instant oatmeal. That tastes nice as well. And I was shocked. Yeah, I went on the scales. I thought that's not right. You know, the scales are wrong. I'm not 198 pounds. Now, my wife did actually say that it's a few pounds out, so I could be like 193, 194. So maybe the scales were slightly wrong. But the point is, I'm still knocking on 200 pounds, and that's way too much. I'm not a tall guy, I'm not a small guy either, in terms of height. I'm pretty average in that respect. I like Raisin Bran. See, healthy. Started. The health kick has started. But, yeah, as soon as I saw that, I thought I've got to do something about it. And so this shop pretty much, and I've got the fudge mint things there. I was kind of joking about these. I'm not really going to eat them, or maybe the occasional one. But generally speaking, this shop is pretty healthy, as you'll see. And to be fair, you know, I think since Christmas, when did I do that first shopping vid? Was that like last week? Oh, no, it was last week. It must have been about 4, 5, 6 weeks ago now, wasn't it? Since then, all right, I've had the odd kind of, you know, fall off the wagon, but generally speaking, I've been eating really well. So the weight will come off, and I am feeling a lot healthier overall. And it's just, I guess, words of encouragement to anyone out there who's maybe, and like I said, I'm being serious now. I'm being serious because I'm not thin, I'm not fat either, but I'm kind of, I've crossed that line of, you know, I need to lose some weight. And if you're in the same boat where you want to lose weight, then just do it, honestly. It's really easy to do. You just got to be strict and eat the right stuff. And eat at the right time as well, because it's so tempting sometimes at night time. 11 o'clock, just go in the fridge and pull out a load of bloody biscuits or whatever, or make yourself a sandwich. But don't do it, you know, like sort of 6 or 7 o'clock, have a meal. You know, a glass of water, that really fills you up as well. Let's get another bag. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, I kind of talked about Sean. It was a shame he shut his channel down, but, you know, like I say, some people, I think, expect too much too soon. And the thing is with Sean, he had like 600 subs. And he'd had, I think, 500 or 600 the previous one he did. He also had a food channel, which had over 1,000. And he just wasn't satisfied. It's such a shame. And, you know, mate, if you're watching this, like I say, just don't shut your channel down. It's so drastic. Because we all have days, and maybe you do as well. I'm going to presume you do. We all have days sometimes where we can't be bothered with YouTube. And we think, do you know what? Is it worth making vids? I'll be honest, it occasionally crosses my mind. Healthy tomatoes. You know, it really does, sincerely. I'll sometimes kind of think, do I want to make videos? What's the point? I can't be bothered. Pick up videos. Sometimes I lose a bit of interest in playing games, buying games. But I just think, you know, you've forged like a lot of friendships on here. And it's just a shame, I think, bananas. It's just a shame to just, you know, cut that off and just pretend it never happened and just kind of cut everyone out of your life like that. It happens and you get on with it, both sides, you know, but I don't know, I've always had a bit of an issue with that. So if you're going through a spell where you're a little bit disillusioned with YouTube for whatever reason, just take a break. Oh, Christ. The bananas put the kettle on there. We're alive. When I put the bananas down, it clicked on the button for the kettle. Some kiwis. I love kiwis. So yeah, that's what I would say. I say don't shut your channel down. It's way too drastic. But then again, maybe you want to shut your channel down, and maybe you've genuinely had enough, you know, of YouTube. I can understand that, but you could do something different. Do like a vlog video. Do a shopping video. Do something which isn't gaming related. Time for another bag. But speaking of game related stuff, I noticed there's been a couple of tags doing the rounds lately. Well, say a couple. I mean, there's been hundreds of the buggers, I think. So, yeah, I'm going to be disappearing off camera every now and again because I'm going to put these in the cupboard rather than leave them out. And I've wrote them down. What did I do? Where did I write them? Yeah, well, I can't really expand too much on these because I've not really got that much of an interesting answer. But I noticed Dave, Lawn Boys Post 1975, he did a tag which was worded around the phrase of, define what nostalgia is for you. So in other words, why do you collect what you do? And then he also did another tag, I think either before or just after that, which said, and I'll very quickly sum this one up, and it was something like, you know, kind of paraphrasing, but it was something like, could you consider yourself a true gamer if you don't go next gen? Well, the answer is yes, obviously. So that's that one, done and dusted. But yeah, the one that I found kind of more interesting was, more interesting, that sounds rude. I don't mean it like that. Good mate of mine, Dave, he knows I'm not being serious. So yeah, define what nostalgia is for you. Why do you collect what you do? Well, my kind of collection is entirely centred around nostalgia. It really is. You know, as a lot of you will know, I love things like the Amiga, the Atari ST, the Super Nintendo, the Mega Drive, which I've just recently bought back. And everything else from that era, I guess, you know, the late 80s or mid 80s up until, I guess, the late 90s. Dreamcast, N64, which I've really been getting back into lately. And yeah, so that's nostalgia to me. Nostalgia to me, or my collection, is what I used to have. Things I didn't have back in the day, even though they were around at the time, such as, say, the PC Engine. I'm not interested in getting one. I mean, I'm not saying I never will. I might be presented with an opportunity where, by the way, getting all these things, I think we're making something like, what's it called, taco soup? Something like that. I don't know what the hell it is. But apparently it's nice, so we're going to be making that. I can't remember what I was saying. I was talking about... What the hell was I talking about? Talking about short-term memory loss. Defining nostalgia. I can't remember what sentence I was on anyway. Oh yeah, that's it. PC engines and stuff. I didn't have one back in the day, you know, when they were out. They bring back a certain amount of nostalgia because I remember them, you know, from looking through magazines like, you know, Mean Machines and CVG. But because I didn't have one, I don't really feel the need, the urge to get one now. So never say never. Like I say, if I get the opportunity to get one for free or for a really cheap price. But really, I think for me, because I'm a very nostalgic person, you know, I'm the kind of person that, you know, I could easily sit down with you or with anyone and talk about old TV shows from like the 80s and the early mid-90s, or music, or just fashion from the times, games, of course. I love it. I'm a really nostalgic person. Adverts that used to be on the television. It just kind of floats my nostalgic boat, what can I say? So yeah, my collection, I like it to be entirely circulated around nostalgia. The only real exceptions, I guess, is obviously the PlayStation 3 and the 360, which have only been out a few years. But speaking of, I think... Is it today, actually? I think it is. Today or tomorrow. Or has it already happened? I don't know. Maybe it's already happened and I've just missed it. I'm going to have to go on online and have a look. But there's the announcement, possibly, of what is going to be the PlayStation 4. Time for it on the back. And I've got to be honest, I'm going through little phases with this. One minute I'm really interested in seeing what it is. And the next minute, I don't care. It's like I'm just not interested whatsoever. But we'll see what it's like, you know, in terms of graphics and options. I mean, I think what would be great for me, one of the things I'd like to see from the next generation, is going online and, let's say, playing a game, whatever that game may be. Let's just say like a first-person shooter, or like maybe not first-person, kind of like a big kind of like war game. I'm not saying that's my favourite kind of genre, it isn't. But I'd like to see, you know, that taken online with, like, say, hundreds and hundreds of players. Right, I mean, like, you look at something like Call of Duty, what's that, 6v6? That's just rubbish. 6v6. I want to see, like, 600 versus 600, for that matter. I was going to say 600v6, that'd be a little unfair. There's another one, what's that one? Pineapple, orange, banana. So, yeah, I'd like to see that. But I'm really in two minds about whether I want to get one. Because sometimes I just feel, and this is maybe a little bit controversial, sometimes I just feel as if I'm a little bit too old for gaming. And I know that's like, whoa, you're never too old, all that kind of stuff. And that's true, you are never too old, but sometimes I just feel I've kind of reached my limit now. The PS3, the 360, that's probably it. But by the time this new technology comes out, the 720, PS4, like I always say, like the PS54 for that matter in the future, I'm sure they're going to come out, and I'm equally sure I'm going to look at them and think, they look amazing, look at what you can do. And I'll probably buy one. But, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I have avoided the Wii U. It doesn't interest me at all. I've got to be honest. And if I can avoid that, which is technically next gen, really, kind of, then if I can avoid that, I'm pretty certain I can avoid, you know, the 720 and PS4. Seasoning mix for the taco soup, I presume. So that's that. I think I butchered that kind of question from Dave, like, what does nostalgia mean to you? Yeah, I just, it means everything I had back then. It may lead on to having other things like the PC Engine, but it'll have to be from, like, for me, like, say, the late 80s up into, like, kind of the late 90s. That 10-year period of time is really nostalgic to me. Bloody screensaver kicked in. I know you didn't see it, but I did. So that's that. And then another question, which I've just kind of answered to a degree, was by Psyman. Or was it his Gamers Living Room channel? I'm not really sure. But either way, it was Sai who posed the question. if you had 575 grand in dollars, which is what, about £400,000, give or take, would you buy this eBay collection, this collection which was on eBay? And there's this guy, I think it was in, was it Italy or France or wherever it was? I think it was in Italy. And tuna, lovely. Yeah, I'll put this in here actually. He put his collection that he'd accumulated over the course of about, I don't know, 15 years, 10 years, 20 years, I don't know for that matter. And he wanted 575 grand for it. And, you know, obviously he had a lot of stuff, a lot of limited editions, you know, collector's sets, and all that kind of stuff. And Si posed the question, if you had the money, obviously if we were, you know, multi-millionaires or billionaires, would you buy it? And my question is my answer is a very, very simple, of course I wouldn't. Not at all. Because I've just touched upon there, my collection for me is what I went through, my nostalgia. So buying someone else's experiences, I'm not interested at all. Even if I was a billionaire, even if the guy said, you can have it for free, I wouldn't take it. I probably wouldn't then sell it. No, but I wouldn't be interested in it because it's just not me. You know, what I buy are things that I like. They may be rubbish games to you. I might kind of show them off, you know, on a pickup vid and you might think that's bollocks. And maybe it is, but it probably means something to me nostalgically. Current gen pickups, I kind of just buy anything, which is a bit of an issue and I should stop doing that. But retro stuff, I am kind of specific about what I buy. So would I, if I had the money, buy someone else's collection, however vast that collection was, and however valuable and all the rest of it, you know, full of rarities and special editions, however much I had spare cash, if I was a billionaire, I wouldn't buy it. So that's that. And then I've wrote down here, but I don't really know what I can say about this. Let me just show you this, first of all. Wet n Wild blusher. That is not for me. I would just like to point that out. Yeah, I've noticed, before I made this video, a couple of videos went up, and it was entitled something along the lines of, I'm just kind of looking down here, what did I say? E-begging. I don't quite know what that's about, but I'm going to presume, as I get another bag, I'm going to presume somebody in the community has maybe put it out there to their subscribers that they would like some free money, donations. Now, this has happened before. Oh, I shouldn't really say this. There was someone who moved to another country who asked people to donate, and a lot of people did donate. And if you did, or if you donate to anything, then great. Good for you. It's up to you. There's no way I'd ever do something like that. And, you know, that person now is screwed a little bit, really, unsurprisingly. But, you know, if you don't listen to advice, what can I say? Well, that's by the by. But yeah, this one person in particular, this other person, whoever they're referring to on YouTube, has obviously put out a video asking for money, and I don't really know why, so maybe I shouldn't really be commenting on it. But how do I feel about it? Well, do you know what? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't give someone money. I've got to be honest. Did I show you what that is? Not that you are really that bothered. Chicken tortilla. That's really nice. I think I said that last time. But yeah, I used to be really bothered by it. It used to annoy me. It used to annoy me if someone came on asking for money, and can you help with the show and all this kind of stuff. But now, I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. Because, do you know what? You or me, we all would be shocked if we could see some of the comments, and maybe you read them, you know, on these videos, because people are happy to donate. People don't mind. And so I think, well, if people don't mind doing it, what concern is it to me or you? Who cares? You know, if people want to do it, if they feel as if they're watching what they deem to be like a show or something, if they see it that way and they want to watch more, and by them contributing $2, $5, $10, if that means they'll be able to watch more of it, and they're happy to do it, their money, they can do whatever they like. I guess it goes back to that original example I gave about the person who's trying to get money off people to stay in the country that they were trying to move to. At the time, a lot of people were like, well, you're an idiot, you know, do it yourself. And I was kind of thinking that way myself. But like I say, now it's like, well, if people want to help, I wouldn't do it, but if people want to help, then that's fine. Unless I really knew them and they're a friend or family, obviously. But in terms of a stranger on YouTube, now if you personally are watching this and you put out a video and you say, unless I know you really, really well, of course, you know, if you put out a video and went, oh, I'm struggling to make these videos. I haven't bought any games for ages, guys, because I haven't got a job or I haven't got any money, and you know, could you, you know, maybe give me some money? I'd be like, piss off. Of course not. And you'd say the same to me. You know, there's no need to go out and buy games or stuff like that, you know. And I think it comes back to that, maybe it sort of in a way comes full circle, doesn't it, to having unrealistic goals on YouTube, you know, like people wanting a certain amount of subs, people not happy when they don't, you know, reach a certain milestone, when they haven't got, you know, all the attention, when they're not getting whatever it may be. And I just think, you know, we're all different, of course, and we've all got our different goals for our channels, but for me, YouTube, you just come online, you make a video, you interact, people leave nice comments, you leave nice comments back. Occasionally, you know, you watch their videos and you scratch my back, I scratch yours kind of thing. And it's just like a bunch of mates kind of talking. I never see the need for all this kind of animosity and this need to succeed. It's just so unnecessary. Just come onto YouTube and just enjoy yourself. Just share your interest, your hobby. You know, be it games, be it music, be it sport, whatever it is. And I just don't understand why people want to be this like huge success. That tea is freezing. So that's that. I think there's one more bag. Let me get it. So, yeah, that's that, I think. What else did I want to talk about? I think that's it. Oh yeah, I did notice that Twit the Shred, Lloyd, did a video regarding full sets. And he was going for a full set, a full Xbox 360 set, which I always thought was a little bit odd, in the sense that they're still releasing the games. And so you've no idea how many games are going to be released. There could be potentially 2,000, you know, Xbox 360 games. You've got to go for 2,000? Really? I mean, that's a lot. I know Barry, Radio 3's doing it as well. But yeah, Lloyd made the announcement that he's not doing it anymore. He'd got to, I think, around about 400 games, maybe a bit less. And he was just kind of looking at it one day, and he just decided to knock it on the head and think, I'm not going to do it anymore. He's going to buy games, he's going to play them and enjoy them, but he's not going to keep the ones he doesn't like. No more full sets. I don't know where Barry stands on that. Obviously, he says he's going for a full collection, but I'm sure, you know, one day he may, you know, get to that stage where he doesn't want to do it as well. But I guess you can only cross that bridge when you come to it, can't you? I mean, full setting is a really tall order. It's something I often think about, and I've talked about it quite a lot. I do like the idea of doing it, but I only really like the idea of doing it when it's a really achievable aim, such as, even though this is a high number, but such as, say, the Sega Saturn or the N64, I think they've got each approximately like 220, 250 games from maybe, you know, one region or whatever it is. And I could do that, I reckon, if I really wanted to. But if we're talking like, you know, PS1, PS2, bloody thousands of games. It's just ridiculous, and I'd never want to do that. But I did suspect, you know, Lloyd might knock that on the head, because he hadn't made a video for a few months, and then he did make one, but then he didn't make one for another few months, and I could just tell. You just kind of get the vibe, don't you, with some people when they don't make a video for ages, that their heart's not really in it. And then once again, it kind of comes back to that full circle thing of some people kind of just shut their channel down. And again, don't do that unless you really want to. Just, I don't know, just take a break, an extended break. A week, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You don't have to come online and say, right guys, I'm going on an extended break. But you can if you want. It's up to you, to your channel, your rules. But just, you don't have to say anything. Just take a break, and you don't even have to comment on people's vids. Don't feel obligated to watch everyone's videos. I know it's hard sometimes to make a clean break and just kind of, you know, leave your friendships to one side, but you've kind of got to do it. Oh yeah, I've just wrote there as well, speaking of full sets, one of the things that puts me off going for full sets, and this is another person I'm about to mention, who started to do it and then changed their mind, and he got so close as well, and that's Marcus, Xfile2708, again, another good friend of mine. You know, and I was on Xfile. I was on Xfile. I wasn't on him. I'd just like to clarify. I was not on top of Xfile. I can't believe I said that. I was on Facebook the other day, and yeah, I was on Facebook the other day, and you know, Marcus is on there. You know, one of my friends on Facebook, and I just so happened to notice one of the photos that he'd uploaded, and I think someone had left a comment, which then made it kind of like appear on my kind of feed. And I looked at it, and it was a picture of Marcus with his collection behind him, or what he had then, his Mega Drive, 99%, full collection. And I looked at it and I was in two minds, I'll be honest. And I think I did say this to Marcus. Or maybe I didn't. It was the first time I'm going to say it now. But I looked at it and I thought, it's impressive, it looks really great and quite nostalgic, but at the same time it just looked too overwhelming and too consuming, because I'm going to get this a little bit wrong, but what are there, like 500-600 games for the PAL Mega Drive? And then there's peripherals and the box systems and variations and all that kind of stuff. And I looked at it and I thought, I don't know if I could do that. Where would I store them? I mean, his whole back bloody wall was full. There's no room, absolutely not. Well, there's probably room technically speaking, but I wouldn't want it. And I looked at it and I kind of thought, well, what's the point? And this is the thing. I mean, with me, and YouTube has definitely played a part in this, I didn't used to be bothered at all. I can honestly say that about full collections until I started on YouTube. And for some reason, all of a sudden now, I love the idea of doing it. But I kind of wish in a way I could go back to the days, and I'm kind of rediscovering this through reading like the diaries and stuff that I've kept, which you may be watching and maybe not. And I don't think I've really touched too much on gaming, but we will get there eventually as the months progress in that diary. But I was never bothered about full collections. If I had a game, I mean, I was just reading a couple of segments last night. If I had a game and I didn't like it, I traded it. I didn't keep it. But these days, I buy something and I keep it because I've got this kind of greedy mentality of wanting a full set. And it only came about as a result of YouTube. So that's one of the negative sides of it, without question. And I do kind of miss that. And also, I never really used to be bothered about having everything PAL. These days, like, I want to buy back PAL games because of nostalgia. I guess maybe back then, the nostalgia hadn't really kicked in because it was still, the 90s. So maybe that's what happens when you get to sort of your 30s. You look at things more through your rose-tinted glasses. I don't know. But going back then, it didn't bother me. I would go into a shop called Software Box in town, and I would quite happily buy American N64 games or Japanese N64 games, and then I'd put them on my shelf, and they'd be all next to each other, American, Japanese, all different sized boxes and stuff. It didn't bother me. And these days it does, and like I say, it's all down to YouTube, all this kind of anal collecting and OCD, and let's face it, ultimately, greed. And I kind of despise that in a way. I don't like how, that's a strong word, I don't like how that's kind of happened to me. I've become, really obsessed with quantity over quality, that old adage, isn't it? But that's that. Hopefully it's something in which, as the months and years go by, I could go back to not really caring about. But I think maybe once you've crossed that line of greed, it's very hard to go back. But yeah, I wasn't like that before YouTube, so maybe I should be shutting my channel down. See you later. No, I won't be shutting it down anytime soon. But obviously, eventually, it'll get to the point where we're all kind of, fed up of it, or something better comes along. But you deal with that when it happens, doesn't it? I won't lie, like I said before, sometimes I can't be bothered to make a video, but I know you sometimes will feel the same. We all go through spells and stages like that. It's to be expected. And that's why, for me personally, I've kind of mixed it up a little bit by, doing vlogs, a little bit of a shopping thing. I've got my music CD pickups, which I've not done for about 8 months, or maybe a year, or whatever it is. But I will get around to doing that eventually. I've got several, other ideas which I'd like to do. But, I think mixing your channel up is a good thing, because, yes, all right, my foundations were built off, being a gaming channel, and that's what it will always be. But we all like different things. We all like music, we might like sports, we might like whatever, I don't know. We've all got our hobbies. And so if you ever get bored of the gaming, never feel, restricted, as if you're caged in and you can't experiment and do something new. Maybe you want to put out, look at the diary things I've done as well. Nothing really to do with gaming, just something different. And I think it's nice, it makes you get to know the person a little bit more. Because we're all here, yes, to kind of talk about games and to show off our collections, but I think it's a friendship thing as well, isn't it? And I've made some great friends, seriously. I know it sounds a bit weird. I know there's some people like, oh, can they really be friends if you don't know them in, real life? Of course they can. Because if you talk to them on a regular basis, you see them, you get used to them, of course they can. And anyone who says differently is a moron. Slammed by me. And the last thing I want to talk about, and like I said, I've wrote it down here. Oh, 2 things actually, although this is going on a while, and I've got nothing else to show you. I guess I could be putting some of these things away. I'll do that. Yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is just what I've been watching on TV. What have I been watching on TV? Funny you ask. I'll tell you. I've been watching a programme called Ripper Street. Sounds a bit violent. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it. It's kind of sort of loosely based. Well, not loosely. It's based like, in Jack the Ripper, the Ripper Times, and the usual kind of sort of cross between Sherlock Holmes, Poirot meets Agatha Christie and Jessica Fletcher off Murder, She Wrote. It's that, same kind of thing. But I like it. I think it's pretty good. Now, I'm pretty certain the last episode still hasn't gone out in the UK yet, but I've downloaded them all up until the ones which are out in the UK. They're on my hard drive, so we can watch them as and when. We watched the first one. Like I said, I thought it was pretty good. Not amazing. Salami. Did I show that before? Because you need to see some salami, don't you? Yeah, I think it's pretty good. The other thing that we've been watching, well, I downloaded them all, but we've only watched one so far, and that's Elementary. I thought the first one was alright. Again, a sort of a Sherlock Holmes, but a modern take on it. I thought it was alright, but yeah, there's something stopping me from watching the second one so far. Just because it's just, even though it was okay, it wasn't great enough to think I've got to watch that again. Let's put the second one on. So it's there. It's on the hard drive. We will get around to watching it, but I'm not that bothered about it at the moment. So that is that. And it's funny. We just finished watching Downton Abbey season 3. I've said this before, and I don't care if it seems a bit weird or whatever. I think it's brilliant. Downton Abbey. It's amazing. If you don't like it, I'm not weird for liking it. You're weird for not liking it. It's brilliant. But I've got to be honest. I was furious at the ending of season 3, or at the Christmas special, because what they did, not for the first time, I hasten to add, they killed off one of the main characters. This is going to sound a little bit gay. Nothing wrong with that, of course. But I went on Facebook, and if you're on Facebook, you probably would have seen this. I said something along the lines of, just watched Downton Abbey, Christmas finale, and I was furious to see that they've killed off Matthew Crawley. Sorry for any spoilers there, but you've probably seen it. And then I put, maybe I shouldn't put this, then I put, who's my man crush going to be on now? Which was quite, admittedly, it was tongue-in-cheek. I wasn't being serious. I didn't have a man crush on him. I'm not gay. And even if I was, who cares? Like I said, it's 2013, who cares? But I put that on there, just as a bit of a laugh. And of course, everyone kind of replied with some banter, as you do. But the bigger picture, what I was trying to say, is I was really annoyed, because I did like him as a character. I thought he's a good actor as well. But more importantly, I was annoyed that they just, not just the fact they killed him off, but they killed another person off. And I think that's like 3 or 4 now in 3 series. And it's just silly. Now, I appreciate these actors and actresses want to move on. They don't want to do Downton Abbey for the rest of their life and be kind of stereotyped. Although I think some of them are going to be stereotyped now. I accept that. That's absolutely fine. But I just think there could have been a better way to do it, instead of killing people off. And a Christmas special as well. I said this to Pete the other day in one of our stupidly mammoth PMs that go on literally for hours. I said, but what happened to the days of TV? Back in the 80s, these nostalgic rose-tinted glasses again. But what happened to the days of Christmas specials, a proper Christmas special where the tree's out and everyone's happy, and it just doesn't happen these days, does it? On bloody EastEnders. I mean, obviously I haven't seen EastEnders for years, but I'm presuming it's still the same. Someone gets killed off on Christmas Day. Same old thing, isn't it? Coronation Street, there's a fire in the bloody, the pub and all the rest of it, and you just think, oh, come on, this is silly. And I just wish they'd kind of go back to that naivety of the 80s and maybe early 90s, where Christmas specials were just all about fun, lightheartedness, and a feel-good spirit, which is what Christmas is about. I'm not religious whatsoever. A cross between sort of an atheist and an agnostic, which is a bit weird. And I've started to read a lot about Buddhism as well lately. That's probably for another video. That'll make an interesting vid. So, yeah, I don't like Christmas from a religious perspective, but it's a great time to chill out and relax and to treat people well and to feel good. And I've touched upon this before. And I think they should be, they should reflect that in the TV which goes out at the time, the Christmas specials. So that kind of, that annoyed me. But that aside, I've got to be honest, I think Downton Abbey is really good. And the last thing I'll say on that, on TV, is that we've also been watching Only Fools and Horses and Lovejoy. Does anyone remember Lovejoy? The first season was like 86. That's the one we're on at the moment. And then they didn't do any more for like 4 years or 5 years. Then they came back and did the like second, third, fourth, maybe fifth series. I can't remember. Now, I'll be honest, the wife doesn't really like Lovejoy. I think it's great in a really cheesy way, and I will get her to like it. She loves Only Fools and Horses. Who doesn't? It's just brilliant. And I think we're on like season or series, I guess, 4 on that one. Late 80s. We're in the late 80s, and that's just brilliant. And that's that. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is, and maybe I should be saving this for another day. Well, I'll just very quickly say it because someone asked me a while ago, or quite recently, where did you come up with the username? And I have touched upon this before, but I will very briefly say how I did it. So BlueTonic78, obviously, and I'd never used that name before on anything. I went on YouTube one day. I went to create a username with the username that I usually had used in the past on other forums and stuff like that. I don't frequent forums these days, or not really, but there is a particular username which I've always used. And I went to put that very same one into YouTube, and it said, well, it's been taken. And I thought, well, who the hell from? What are the chances of that? Maybe it was me, and I'd just forgotten the password and everything else. So I created another, but I thought, well, what should I do? So I looked at all my CDs which are at hand at the time, and I picked up things like, Oasis CDs, and I was looking at the back going, oh, yeah, go on, definitely maybe. It's not really. Morning Glory, no, can't really have that. Picked up a Blur CD, like Park Life 94, because it came out in 94. Park Life 94? Nah, that sounds rubbish. And I was just going through all these CDs until something kind of stuck out. And nothing really did. I tried a few names, but I either sort of had second thoughts about it, or they'd been taken by someone else. And then I picked up a CD by the Blue Tones, who were a band just recently split up. Although inevitably they'll get back together again in the future, because they always do. And I picked it up, and I like the Blue Tones, but they wouldn't make my top 100 favourite bands or anything. I just like them. I don't love them. But anyway, I looked at the back of the CD, and one of the songs was called Blue Tonic. And I thought, that sounds quite good. That sounds cool. Blue Tonic. I thought, blue, Manchester City as well. It kind of ties in. We're in blue today as well. I thought, yeah, it's a Blue Tonic. Tonic? Well, I'm an alcoholic. I'm not really. So I thought, yeah, Blue Tonic, that sounds good. And just put 78 after it, the year I was born. Obviously, can't tell, or you can today when I've not had a shave. I definitely look my age, I think, when I've got this kind of stuff going on my face. But I think ordinarily, clean shaven, I think you could easily shave, 5 or 6 years off. Easily. Agree with me? So, yeah, that was that. And I just put it in, BlueTonic78. And it worked. But when I created that name, it was never with the intention of making videos and people knowing me by this name. I just created that because I think I was prompted to by YouTube to watch videos or something. I don't know. And it was only about 2 or 3 years later when I started making videos. So yeah, it was never intentional for me to be known, as it were, in the community with my username. It's just the way it happened. But yes, that's how it came about, with just randomly looking on the back of a CD, or several CDs, and just till I saw something which stuck out. So that's that. Anyway, I'm going to knock this on the head because this has gone on for a long, long time. And I actually do think this has been bollocks. I really, sometimes you make a vid and you're like, that's pretty good. I've watched this, as I've been doing it, I've been thinking, this is pretty piss poor, isn't it, really? Or maybe not. Maybe you've liked it. I'll soon find out. So anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, see you later.